What's up, guys? Welcome to week 26 of Books Being Sick. I am Nick. Thanks for being here. As always, 26 weeks in. Look at us go. You know, how fun is that? Today, I've got just a bunch of book stuff for you. I bet you weren't expecting that. I've got my 5 favorite books of the year so far. We are approaching the end, not the end, but the midway point of 2024, which I think is great. It feels really weird that we're this far in already, but you know, who cares? Let's just keep moving. Let's just keep going. It doesn't matter. This was hard to do, but I picked up my 5 favorite books of the year so far. Easily could have done 10. I only did 3 over on the gram and, TikTok and all that, but doing 5 here. Got some reading updates. Got the Books Are Sick book club long list that I can share with you. It was a pretty I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun list this month. I got some signed books to share with you, and just a bunch of stuff like that. So first off, though, let's go with my 5 favorite books of the year so far. Again, this was not an easy list to put together, but we made it happen. And by we, I mean I. I like saying we because it feels less committal. All right. So at number 5, my 5th favorite book of the year so far, I'm going with Foster by Claire Keegan. Largely because my copy of Small Things Like These is downstairs, and I just didn't really want to go downstairs to get it, and Foster was behind me. And they're kind of interchangeable for me. I love them both about the same, to be completely honest with you. I could easily switch this out with Small Things Like These for sure, but Foster is right up there in terms of quality and in terms of my lovability of it, and it's just great. It's just great. Claire Keegan is so good. I love her so much. My wife actually, so she's in a book club, and they all had to pitch books, I guess, at the start of this book club to see which books would win and whose pitches would win. And she pitched Small Things Like These, which is one of the books that got picked. And I believe they read it this past month, and I think people really liked it. So that's encouraging. You know what I mean? I was kind of nervous, but I think people liked it. Number 4 favorite book of the year, Perks of Being a Wallflower. This is just the best coming of age story that I've ever read, that I've read to date. And it is, I would highly, highly recommend anybody check this out no matter what age you are. I just love it so much. I love coming of age stories, and nothing beats this one for me, at least so far. I love the format of it. I love that we're reading, the whole thing is just basically reading letters that have been sent to this anonymous person from our main guy. And it just really encapsulated the weirdness and the uncomfortableness and confusion of high school and of growing up, and I thought it was brilliant, and I really, really loved it. And this is the 20th anniversary edition that has a new letter from Charlie at the end of it. He's now older, of course, and I thought that was a really nice touch. Great book. Very deserved at number 4 for me. Number 3, I am going with The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is a book that I really liked when I finished it. This is a book we read for the book club 2 months ago, or last month, I can't remember. But I really liked it when I finished it. And again, I've said this before, but it's just one of those books that the more I sit on it, the more I think about it, the more I love it. And the more I think that Donna Tartt is a brilliant writer. I think she's a very cool, mysterious person. I think she might be a genius, honestly. And I just loved the headspace that this book put me in. Just living in this weird world with these strange people living this strange life, and having their morals just completely not in line with my own, and just kind of experiencing this group of people. It was just there's something about it that is just really just gripping. And I think that this is going to be a classic that people read 100, 200 years from now. And I think it's brilliant. I don't know. Again, I already said that, but I thought it was amazing. So that's my number 3 favorite book of the year so far. Number 2, I am going with, I had to throw this one on the list. Just because it's I believe the longest book I've read to date, so you got to have it on there. But it is deservedly in the number 2 spot for me, and that is The Stand by Stephen King. This book is just oozes Stephen King. If you even just kind of like Stephen King, and you're looking for a book to kind of read for 2 months and not read anything else, The Stand is the book for you. It's every single page of it is just like, oh, Stephen King. It's just it's great. It's a very epic tale as well. It's a cross America journey where this disease has hit the planet basically, and people are getting wiped out left, right, and center. It might be a touchy subject given recent events, but I talked to some people that actually read this for the first time during the pandemic, which I think might have been added an element of freakiness to this book that might have been really cool to experience. I don't know. Just fantastic, though. It's the characters are what make this book what it is. Some of the most iconic Stephen King characters that exist in this book, and it's got a lot of heart, and it's got a lot of punches. And I the third act is phenomenal. You know what I mean? I thought the entire ending was perfect. I don't know if everybody would agree, but I loved it, and I thought it was great, and I was totally hooked. The Stand by Stephen King is my second favorite book of the year so far. And you may already know what number one is because I have mentioned it a number of times. And it is what I call currently my favorite book that I've read to date, which is a big thing to say, I would say. And that is this book by John Williams. Again, I'm not going to say the title just because I feel like saying the title. Unfortunately, the title of this book, it's just the guy's name. It's just the guy's name. But in today's world, it's something else. And I feel like it hurts the algorithm or whatever. So, but check this out by John Williams. It is just so hard to put into words why it is as good as it is and why I loved it as much as I did. I've actually had a number of people reach out to me saying that they read this based on my recommendation, which is really, really awesome to hear. I love, like, that's so weird, but cool to hear. And what's funny is we all seem to have almost the exact same review of this book, in that we loved it and it was great and one of the best things that we've ever read, but we can't really properly say why. It's very, like, I'm sure there are people that are way smarter than me out there that could put into words why this book is as good as it is and why it hit me the way it did, but it's hard for me to do so, because all I'm going to say is it's about like this guy's life, he's a teacher, and then, that's kind of it. But man, like the last 2 or 3 pages, just my face fell off my head, and it was the best. And I just want to experience that again in another book. And I don't know, who knows what the next book will be that will give me that same feeling. But man, John Williams, heck of a writer. Heck of a writer, you might say. Okay, so I've got some, those are my 5 favorites of the year so far. I have a couple book pickups here. My lovely wife gave me a bit of a book buying spree for Father's Day, and I bought 7 books online. Only 4 have come in. I bought them from a bookstore, and I got to go pick them up still. But I will show them to you here. I got American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. This is a book that I've wanted to read for some time. I've actually never seen this movie, which is crazy because I know it's a really popular one, but I've never seen it. And I've heard just such fantastic things about the book. I'm excited to dive into that at some point. I got Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. No idea what this is about, but I have heard of this, Tuesdays with Morrie, but not a clue what that's about. I got Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Again, a very, very popular one that I've never read and very excited to dive into. I actually don't know, outside of Chuck's writing tips book, I don't actually think I've ever read one of his books. I don't think. I could be wrong. I might be lying. I might have read one in my teenage years, but I don't think that I did. Anyways, Fight Club is another one I picked up, and I'm halfway through this one. I started reading it after I picked it up, and it is so good. It is right up my alley. It's a tough one to recommend based on the subject matter because I don't think it's going to be for everybody, but the dark humor in here is killing me. It is. I'm loving it. I'm not going to say the title again just because it's one of those titles that I think might be a little troublesome to the whatever, but it is this book here by Jeff Eugenides. I hope I'm saying his name right. And that cover too, like, give me a break. Amazing cover. Halfway through it, it is fantastic. I am loving it so much. And I will wait to share the other books that I ordered in next week's video so that I actually have them to show you. But yeah, man, that book is just, it is really, really good. Someone reached out to me on Instagram and was like, hey, I don't normally do this, but I read this incredible book that I think you'd love, and just the brief description of it, I was like, oh yeah, maybe that you actually might be correct here. And this is called The Death of Grass, and this is a book I believe from the 50s, and it's about, I haven't read it yet, but it's about like a situation where the crops all start to die off, and it's kind of like an end of the world type of book, and it sounds fantastic. It is called The Death of Grass. It came highly recommended from one of my followers. I'm really looking forward to diving into that. It does sound really, really cool, and I had never heard of it before, so always really excited when that happens. Oh, I'll share these. Sorry, I got these kind of other pickups here. These are from Kayuli. I've mentioned Kayuli on here a number of times. Kayuli Rare Books over on Insta. I just love him, and he's nice to me, and he sends me stuff sometimes. So these two are from him. I'm just so grateful to have a pal like him. I got this book by Kirk Douglas, the famous Kirk Douglas, and it is signed by the man himself in here. And I am just a big loser for signed books, so I'm just very excited to have that. I think that is super cool. So that's one. And this one is probably even cooler. I don't know. But this is Fever Dream by George R.R. Martin. It is a paperback copy of that book, and it is also signed. Oh, shoot. I just had it signed by the man himself, George R.R. Martin. Hopefully you can see that there. Just super cool. Super cool. Kaylee, I love you. Thank you so much, man. Please check him out. He is the best. He really, really, truly is. And his page is super fun to just pop around on. George R.R. Martin. You know, do you think any more are coming? What do you think? I haven't really brought up the Game of Thrones books on here, but I would love to hear in the comments. Do you think, are we done? Or is there more coming? I would love to hear your thoughts on that, because it feels like we're kind of done. But there are updates that have been coming in over the last year, 2 years or so, and it's like, they're hopeful updates, but it's still, there's something about it that's still like, I don't know. Anyways, I have another book that I'm reading, and that is The Lost World by Michael Crichton. I finished Jurassic Park and dove right into this one because I love Jurassic Park so much. I am about 3/4 of the way through, like right there, sort of. And you know what? It's really good. I would say that if you like, I shouldn't say really good. It's it's good. If you loved Jurassic Park, you will like The Lost World for sure. It's it's not quite packing the same punch that Jurassic Park did for me, but it's a totally worthy sequel that I am enjoying. There's a line I was reading a little bit this morning. And there's a line in here that just killed me. And I was like, yeah, we've hit corn levels here. It's they're asking someone if they'd ever want to leave, and his response is, not in a million years. Not in 65 million years. It's like, okay. But it's great. Very, very different from the movie. The general rough outline is still the same, but the storylines are quite different. And there's actually rumors that Michael Crichton didn't have a sequel planned, and that Stephen King or someone higher up came to him and was like, hey, based off the success of Jurassic Park, like, you gotta write a sequel. We need a sequel. And so he might, this is all rumors, but he might not have had a plan to even write a sequel, and then kind of just did it. And there are hints of, like, I could see that being the case, having read 3/4 of this. There's a main character in this book that is not alive at the end of Jurassic Park that kind of miraculously survives to carry on this book. You might be able to guess who that is. And yeah, it just feels like this was kind of an afterthought, but again, totally worthy sequel. That is not bad at all. Okay, so the only other thing that I wanted to share with you today, sorry if this is, no, you're hitting the 50. I always say that. Sorry if this is shorter, and then it's like the same length every time. But I did want to share with you the books are sick, the Sick Book Club book list for July. We are doing a 90s month, which I'm really excited about. And so these are all books from the 90s, and I can share with you after this the 3 that are in the lead. It's a really clear 1, 2, 3. There isn't even a close 4th, actually, which I was kind of surprised by. But the list is Fight Club, The Poisonwood Bible, American Psycho, Tuesdays with Morrie. You can see my Father's Day book pickups kind of influence this. High Fidelity, Outlander, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicles, Trainspotting, Girl with a Pearl Earring, the book that I'm reading that I'm really loving with the dark humor, The Butcher Boy, and Jazz by Toni Morrison. And I'll give you a second to think what you might think is in the lead. I'm kind of surprised. There were a couple on here, namely the Trainspotting and the Poisonwood Bible. I thought we're gonna maybe crush it. I also thought maybe Outlander would pump up there. Not the case. The 3 that are in the lead right now are Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis, and High Fidelity by Nick Hornby. High Fidelity is in the lead. It's not crazy in the lead, but it is technically in the lead. So we are going to cut that down to a top 3 and see which of those 3 moves on to be the book for July. I love doing this stuff. It's so fun. The polls in the book club are some of my favorite part of having a book club. And I don't know. I have a weird feeling that Fight Club's going to end up taking it, but High Fidelity, again, is the more popular one. I just feel like based off of the other choices here, those people now having to choose another one of these 3 might lean towards Fight Club, but I don't know. Anywho, that's what's going on there. So this has been week 26. I guess that means we're like pretty much halfway to doing this for a year, or halfway. Wait, how many weeks are there in a year? Who cares? Thanks for being here as always. I'm Nick. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you next week. All right, see you later.